Hello, 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 everyone. This is Kathy, and I'm here today to do some creating. I'm going to be creating an ephemera pocket for an upcoming journal that I will be making. I'm starting out to get me in the mood with just creating this pocket with some little mushroom fairies. Now, the mushroom fairies are from Hoerth, Hoerth Design Studio, and I love their crazy, whimsical images. They were out of their store for a while, had closed their shop for a while, so I was so happy to see that they came back. And what I've done is I've taken their one-page design for their mushroom fairy and I've printed it twice on one sheet of paper. And what that does is it reduces the size of the fairies. I've printed it on sticker paper, some clear sticker paper, so I'm going to set that aside for a moment. I'm also be using this piece of journal paper from Victoria Designs. It's their Botanical Garden journal. I'm going to make the pocket out of this, and I want to try to use this stamp. I got this from redleadpaperworks.com. Check them out. They have some beautiful stamps and paper collections, collage materials, and just a really nice small business. So I always try to support those small businesses. And I'll put the link in the description box. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I want to do is cut off the border from this. I'm going to be making a really simple pocket that I'm sure many of you have made before, but if not, stick around and maybe you'll just find another way to make a pocket. I usually don't make my ephemera first, but I've kind of just not gotten my mojo for a while, as you can see from the limited times I've been on my channel. Okay, so I want this part to show mainly, and I printed double-sided on the back. So I'm going to fold it up like this. I'm going to leave about an inch up at the top, and make that nice and crisp. And then I'm going to fold it over like that. And this will determine the width of my pocket once I fold the other side over. So I want it a little bigger than that. So let's go a little thinner. Okay, I think that's a good size for me. And you see, all I did was I folded this side in first, the side that doesn't have the pocket. Make a nice crisp fold. Before I do anything else, I'm going to put some glue here. And we'll fold that over. And I'm going to put some glue across here. Whoops. Make sure it lines up. And I have a little space here to add things. I have space here and here. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to cut this across because I don't want the little points this time. Usually I do, but this time I'm not. I'm also going to put a dab of glue on the underside here. And there I have it. I have a spot here, here, 3 little spots. I'm going to give it some ink. I'm using scorched timber. I used to always use vintage photo. Then I went to walnut. Now I like this. It's kind of like a grayish brown. You probably should have done this before, of course, but that's how I roll. Okay. And I'm going to set that aside. Next, I'm going to work on my stamp. And I'm going to do that using this piece of paper for the background. And I'm going to use this stamp, which is like a film strip, and I'm going to use this stamp. And then you also have a stamp that says date, time, and place, and photograph. I'm not going to be using those. Okay. Using archival ink, black. And I'm going to put that right here. Okay. I'm going to do that once more, just in case. Let me see if I have a... I wanted to try this stamp, this ink, Versa Fine Clair. Ooh, this is a pigment ink. I didn't realize that, but let's use it anyway. I'm going to put that down here. I'm sure it's going to be much darker. Yes. And I always like to clean off my stamps after I use them at least a little bit. I just use a wet wipe. And And I'm going to use the bigger one. And okay, I'll use this. There. And one more. And there. Okay. Let's put these back. I know that my journal's going to have a couple of signatures, too. So I always like to try to make a couple of the same types of ephemera for each signature. Let me close this out. And let's cut this. And these. Okay. So I have two of those, two sets. I'm going to use this set, and I also have some ephemera that I've cut out. So let's see. Yeah, I have some tiny, even smaller cutouts. And I think that'll do that. So I have this larger stamp that's going to be for this. I mean, not stamp, sticker. And smaller ones that are going to be for here. So, and what I don't need to do is, typically with these I would cut out the inside, but I don't need to do that because these are clear stickers. So, they'll work. Let me see if you can see that. It's so cute. So that's one. What's nice about using clear stickers is you don't have to worry about fussy cutting them out because there's no white around it. I mean, I want to cut around it as best I can. Let's see, I have two. This is kind of a cute one. Three. And 4. Okay. Now I have to figure out what fits in the little box. So I have these 4. And let's see how much of them needs to show. Okay, so I'm going to cut off their legs on this one. There's one. And 2. Where would junk journalers be without beautiful digital paper? I don't make any digital paper, so I'm so grateful to people like Hearth Designs and Victoria Designs, Hearth Studio Designs, and Victoria Designs, Louisa Heinzel. There's so many good digital paper artists. Okay, so here's what it looks like. And I'm going to ink around the edge. Okay. Now I'm going to do this one, and I definitely want to use this guy. And I'm going to pretty much be able to get in all of him, except a little bit around the edges of his feet. Let me show you this up close. He's got a lizard on his head. The little mushroom fairy. And we'll stick him right in there. Okay, let me and there's some little extras I can put on here. Well, let's wait and do that. Okay, bring back our little pocket. Okay, and I think I'm going to put that right across the front. Okay, and this guy can go in there. Let me make another one. Let's see. I like this one. Has a lot of color. It's that one. I have so much fun going through digital collections to find out which ones I can put together to use. That all fit on there. And this can either go there. I think I'll put it in there. And let's see, I've cut some other things out that I might be able to use. Okay. And I have some that I've made previously. I'm not going to use that. These I didn't make out of with stickers. I did the fussy cuts. I actually had them cut out on my brother's scan and cut machine that I'm just learning how to use. It certainly makes things easier. I think I'm going to use this and put it in the back. I'm going to save those. Okay. I found some little pieces to add to this. And found some other fairies. Either have that one, purple. I think the yellow looks a little better. We can put those back in. A light bulb with a butterfly inside. Maybe she's put that right up at the top. I love this one. I'm going to glue this together to make a longer one that can go in that pocket instead of the card. And let me see. Let me cut this. Actually glue this. And it will give me a nice place for people to journal on the back. Okay, that's better. So I have some fun little pieces. Okay, we'll save that. Save that. Now, let's see if I can make another kind of a pocket. Here's a piece of paper. And let's see if I can remember how to make it. Cut off make it just like that. Going to fold it all the way over this way. Back over this way. Okay, back over this way. And snip off the back. In this pocket, we'll glue it down the edge here. Then we'll glue it down the edge here. Okay. Add a little ink. Whoops, I forgot to glue the bottom. This was another one of those things that I should have done before I glued it. Normally I make this out of cardstock. It's a little easier. But, okay. Now, let's see. So I have a pocket here, here, and here. Let's see if I have something for her to sit on. Let's see. See if there's anything to cut out. These are also from Hearth Designs. Okay. I'm going to put her right in there. I have to show you what I got for Christmas. It's one of those little desk vacs. And it's funny because my husband never, I mean, he has trouble getting me stuff for Christmas. And I mean, his very first gift to me on Christmas were bird salt and pepper shakers. And that first Christmas, I did pretend that I like them. But we've been married now for 40 some years, so I don't have to pretend anymore. But I love, 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 love that little vacuum. He got it at Amazon. I picked it out and showed him where it was. Because he does get frustrated. Okay, we're going to plop this right down on the middle. Right here. And she's going to sit right on top. And I'm going to leave the leaves here This will go on the edge of a journal page. Kind of like that. And I don't know what I'm going to put in it yet. So I'm going to wait. I think for these, I'll probably put some sort of a bookmark in the back. I do have this one. They could be hiding in there. Let's see if I have another one. I do. I have a little girl. So they could be in there. I'm going to save the little girl. These are funny. Let me see. This is the red fairy. I'm going to be using her, but later on. Okay, I have him again. Oh, he's having tea. Kind of like him. I'm going to glue him down. I'm going to put him all the way down, then we'll just use the top bit of the pocket. Then we can still use this pocket. Okay, I think that is going to do it for today. So we have this one. I think it's so cute. And then we have this one. Join me again, please, for making more ephemera, and I'll be starting my journal probably this week. I'm going in for some cataract surgery, so it depends on my eyesight. Okie doke. You all have a great one. Bye.